What's up guys, Rab here from Rabtastic Paints. Now on Monday of this week I was lying on the couch recovering after a long night of gaming and drinking, mostly drinking, and we were using my dining room table because we didn't have anywhere else to play. So as I was lying there recovering, I thought to myself, I'm going to make a gaming table. So I did. So I have watched a lot of great YouTubers make a lot of great boards, but I'd never actually done it myself. I had a general idea of what I wanted to do and what I wanted the board to be, but I didn't know if I possessed the skills or the resources to do it. Now the stipulations for the board were it had to be Osgiliath themed, it had to be 4 foot by 4 foot, it had to be easily stored or hidden away. That was Jade's stipulation, and I lived by the motto, happy wife, happy life. And finally, I had to have it completed by Saturday because we're babysitting 4 of my nephews on Saturday. Also Zelda comes out and I really want to play it. Now I knew I wanted the board to be Osgiliath themed because that scene from the movie is iconic. I also have the Battle of Osgiliath box set, which is what got me into the Middle-earth strategy battle game in the first place, and that comes with some really good terrain which would help bulk out the board. Unfortunately there wasn't quite enough, so I reached out to Games Workshop hoping they would send me some Osgiliath terrain, and unfortunately it said that it's all been sent to New Zealand. So I took what I had and I 3D printed some more. More on that later. Now in order to play the Middle-earth strategy battle game, you have to have a board that's 4 foot by 4 foot. So I went to my local home base and luckily they sold 4 foot by 2 foot MDF boards. So all I had to do was buy 2 of them and enough wood to make a frame. Easy enough. I laid the pieces of MDF down, lined out the support frame and glued it down before weighing it down with some heavy objects. Then the next day I flipped it over and screwed all the pieces down. In hindsight, not the best idea to be honest. I think I should have built the frame first, laid the MDF down on top of it and screwed it on. The first of many lessons learned, but I pretty much wasted a day waiting for glue to dry. So with all that downtime that I had sitting around waiting for glue to dry, I decided to be productive and started 3D printing a bunch of scatter terrain. I printed a fountain to sit in the middle of the board, a broken down little dock which would be used for boats, some barrels and some crates, just sort of generic stuff that you can find for free on My Mini Factory. Whilst I was on My Mini Factory, I saw this, the Orcs Siege Raft from the Printing Goes Ever On, and I needed it. I gave all of the terrain a quick dry brush and then picked out some of the details such as the metals just to make it stick out a little bit more. I wasn't going to put too much time into them. It's terrain, it's just going to be sitting on a table or maybe even be used as objective markers. Now the next day we were extremely lucky. The XPS foam that we'd ordered from Amazon arrived a full 2 days early. Jeff Bezos himself had blessed our delivery. The next step was to get the foam glued to the board and cut away the riverbank. That's right, this isn't going to be a flat city board. We're going to have a riverbank to echo the iconic scene in the movie where Gothmog and the orcs arrive on their rafts under the cover of night. Now at this point, every bone in my body was telling me, do a resin pour. It would have been incredible. The water effects in the city. It almost felt like there was a dark presence trying to influence me into doing this, but I resisted. A resin pour is just too much for me at this stage. I don't have the ability to do it, and I'm more than happy to put my hands up and say it's just beyond my capabilities right now. Once the foam was on, I mixed up a batch of modelling compound from Geek Gaming Scenics. I used this to blend the riverbank into the board so it's not like an unnatural straight edge, as well as covering the joins in the middle of the board. I generally just smeared it everywhere as well, just to add some texture across the board. This is a ruined city. There's going to be rubble and bricks lying everywhere. Nothing's going to be flat. I didn't really want it to look unnatural like that. It was great fun. It was at this point that the board started to come together in my mind and I could see where I wanted everything to be. All of those doubts that I had the first day when everything seemed to be really difficult and really wrong just started fading away. I've never really been much of a technical person, so building stuff is really cool to me. and I wish I could do more of it. Hopefully this hasn't kicked off like an addiction to board building, because I don't have the space to do it here. Yeah, so fingers crossed that doesn't tickle any parts of my brain that have gone untickled for a while. But I had so much fun doing this, and this, like I said, is where it all started to come together for me, and this was brilliant. I loved it. Now this modelling compound dried really quickly, so I was actually able to get the board painted that very night. It's fantastic stuff. I thought it would take a day to dry or something like that, but no, 15 minutes later it was dry to touch and able to be painted on, which is really good. So I painted all of the city terrain with a neutral grey, one that matched the walls actually. Now looking at it, knowing that I could dry brush some highlights in later, I painted the riverbank with a brown to give the appearance of the city sort of sliding into the river, like mud. I didn't really like the colour that I'd got, so I actually fixed it the next day. It looks really orange here, and it's quite bright, and it's not what I wanted. With the painting itself, I just wanted to get a base coat down so that you couldn't see any modelling compound and you couldn't see any of the black foam. It's quite handy that the foam was black. If it had been bright blue or green, I think I could be in trouble. I still need to paint the wood around the edge of the board. I'm going to do that once I can get the board moving and get outside, so I can maybe just spray paint it outside and it should be a bit easier. Then the river itself got a nice dark blue, which is unfortunately a poor substitute for the resin that I really wish I could have poured in instead. But no, a nice dark blue so that we could highlight it up later or add some waves on top of it. With the night coming in and it getting darker and me getting more and more tired because I'm an old man, the paint was finally dry. I gave the board a spray of PVA mixed with water before sprinkling over some granite dust ballast and tarmac grey sawdust from the Geek Gaming Scenics Terrain Ready range. Once these rolled down, I gave them a spray of IPA, and then the sealant spray again from Geek Gaming Scenics. Really, at this point, look, you should probably sponsor me. I have no problem being a fucking shill. Now, I gave the board a couple more coats over the next few hours before retiring for the night. I've noticed that when I do videos, I struggle to talk enough. So the videos are always quite short. So even when I'm doing like painting videos, explaining the exact colours I use and the steps that I take, I just sort of rush through it and talk really fast. It's weird because if you speak to anyone that knows me, I never shut up. So it's strange that I can't talk when I actually need to. But anyway, I'm just rambling because I really want to make this video longer so you guys aren't watching like a 5-minute video of how I spent 3 days making a terrain board. It's actually unreal. I have like close to 100 gigabytes of footage of me making this board, and I'm struggling to talk about it for more than 5 minutes. It's so weird, but yeah, crazy. Rant over. And this is how it looked at the end of day 2. The brown was very orange, but I was going to fix that in the morning. But I was pretty happy with my progress so far. So I left the board to properly dry for the entire day, only occasionally popping my head in from the office to admire my handiwork. Once I was finished work for the day, I set about fixing my brown mistake with the mud and doing some dry brushing. So the river was dry brushed with a lighter blue to give the appearance of waves and to give some depth to the rocks that were in it as well. The brown was completely darkened down to give more of a wet appearance. This is not dry sand, it's a wet slippery riverbank, so I completely overhauled the brown. The tarmac was given a highlight with a lighter grey, with particular attention paid to the paths that I was designing into it to give the appearance that regular foot traffic had worn the streets down. And with that, the only remaining step was filling the board with the terrain from the Osgiliath set and all the stuff that was 3D printed. And here's how it looks. We have Gothmog leading his orcs and a terrifying troll against the warriors and rangers of Gondor. Personally, I am incredibly happy with what I've built, especially for a first time in only 3 days. Is it going to win any awards? No. Can I game on it? Yes. Will it make you guys hit that subscribe button? Well, please. As with most of my content, I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to do this. If I can do it with minimal skill, I'm sure you can too. Guys, if you're still watching this far, it means you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much. I am completely fried right now. I've been building this table for like 3 days. Dreaming about it in my sleep. Inhaling all sorts of paint and IPA and fumes and glue and everything. But yeah, wanted to get this video out before the weekend because, like I said, I've got lots of plans this weekend. I want to play Zelda and watch my nephews play on our brand new table that I've just built, and I still can't believe that I've done it. I've actually made a table. It's ridiculous. Guys, if you watch the video and you want to make your own table, just do it. Just go for it. Like, honestly, best decision I've made in a while. I'm so pleased with myself. If you get any questions, drop me a comment, message me, ask me where I got this, where I got that, what I did, if I've missed anything out. I tried to be as precise as I could without it being like a demo or a how-to guide, because I'm in no position to teach. I'll give you advice, but I'm not going to be making videos on how to build boards. This was just a project for me and some fun, something to do in a week where I didn't have much to do apart from work and regular cleaning around the flat. So guys, thank you again so much. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Until next time, take care of yourselves.